Hey friends, happy Monday. It is Team Call Night, a live version. So I am going to wait for a couple people to jump on. And most of you will probably listen to the recording of this, so I'm not going to take a whole lot of time at the beginning for announcements. Make sure to go back and look at the announcements put for the week put up in our team page yesterday. So my goal is to get them out on Sundays, and I did that this week, so they should be up in our team page, which is great. So make sure to go and check those out when you get a chance. I'm going to make sure that I'm live in the right group, and then we will get started. If you're hopping on, make sure to say hello. I see Kayla. Hey, Kayla. Y'all are going to have to ignore my appearance after taking care of a sick little one all day and being pregnant. I'm just, have you ever watched those? Hey, Amanda. Have you ever watched those makeup tutorial videos and looked at the girls in the makeup tutorial videos and been like, that's so much work? It's just me. I look at that and I'm like, but then I have to take off all that makeup at the end of the day. I was better about that when I was working in corporate America. Aiden is feeling better-ish. He took a 3.5 hour nap today, which really helped him to feel better. He's pretty pitiful still. He's still running a fever. So, we just have to wait and let it go its course and see if he needs antibiotics. If it doesn't break by tomorrow, then he's getting antibiotics. Hi, Janine. Hey, Miss Laurel. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've just got a couple things to cover for as far as announcements, and then we are going to dive into this topic, and hopefully it can give you guys some stress, management tips for coaching, how to make the most out of your time as a coach, and go from there. So first things first, our coach sneak peek was supposed to be tomorrow night. There's a couple reasons I'm going to cancel it, because one, in this shift to be our own team, I have not, and also with this stuff going on in my personal life, being pregnant and exhausted, I have not been on top of making sure we invited to this sneak peek, and I also want our leaders of this team to help me with this sneak peek, so it's not just me talking the whole webinar. And so for planning purposes, I really would like to push that back. So new date to be determined, so we're going to not have a sneak peek tomorrow night. I think it was scheduled for tomorrow night. And we will push that back and do it at a later date and time. That way we can really invite to it. We can really be intentional about making it a good event and really represent the heart of our team. So I don't like to do anything half-butted. So I really would prefer to go in with a good plan and something that our whole team feels excited about. So sneak peek is canceled. Super Saturday is this weekend. If you are in the triad, I would love for you to come with us. We are going to the Raleigh-Durham area to see Coach Tulin speak, and it's going to be a really good event. I'm super excited about that. I do need to know who's going so that we can either carpool or make sure that I save enough seats, etc. So just make sure to let me know if you're planning on attending that. Regardless, you guys know how important events are, hopefully, from me talking. So even if you aren't in the triad, and it might be a little bit scary going on your own, I encourage you to plug in and find your Beachbody community near you and go to their Super Saturdays. I think that was going to happen. Okay, so Super Saturday is this weekend. So if you need help finding one in your area, let me know and I can connect you to the information. So those are the only two announcements I have. I want to give a little shout out to those who are participating in the Go For No challenge. And also for Success Club. So we've got Kayla and Carla each have 2 points on the board with Success Club, so that's wonderful. Amanda has 4 and Laurel has some too. I think 4. I can't remember. So I think Laurel has 4 also. Laurel is not in my physical downline, so I can't actually see what she has, but I know that she's rocking it this month. So that means that as far as Go For No, remember Success Club points. For every challenge pack you sell, you get 5 points for the Go For No, plus every no that you get and you put in the team page and screenshot within our Go For No thread, you get a point for that. So as of right now, Carla is in the lead. Miss Carla is super competitive, so if you're wanting to win the tub of Recover, then I highly suggest you amp up your invites to match Carla. So we've got Carla at 15, we've got Laurel at 11, we've got Amanda at 10, Kayla's at 5, Amber's at 4, Monica's at 3, and Bethany Donnell is at 2. So those are our recognition for tonight. So I want to get into our team topic, which is how to juggle coaching in your schedule. As I was reading back through the topics of things that I felt like that you guys mentioned that you were struggling with. Sorry. Things that you guys mentioned that you were struggling with, things that I struggle with, and really just from a leader standpoint, how I can guide the team. I see this as being one of our biggest struggles in general as coaches, and so I really want to help navigate these waters. So one of the things I hear a lot is I don't have enough time to coach. I get really overwhelmed. I'm super stressed out. How do you juggle life with coaching? How do you be proactive in your business, but still like navigate the waters of unexpected events and seasons and things like that? I am literally in the dead heat of this right now in my life with pregnancy, and third trimester has been so much harder than I had anticipated. Like first trimester was a struggle physically, second trimester was great, and then third trimester has, from a physical standpoint, has really been a butt kicker for me. And so I was not expecting that. I was actually expecting the opposite. I was planning to use my third trimester to get my whole life together because Aiden went back to school, and I had all these grand plans of having everything scheduled and posted, and the team would be rocking, and we got this and that and the other, and everything just kind of fell to pieces in the last month. And that's okay, but living in that place is not going to get me anywhere in my business. And I posted on the team page today that screenshot of the guy who's super successful, who hit elite this past year. And it talked about how he treated his business like a 4-year degree in college. And he knew that he was going to have to invest 4 years of his life before he would start making a steady, worthy paycheck. And that really hit home with me today. I'm like, I've only been in the business about a year and a half, and I'm not stable enough yet still in my business to be able to take a step back or be able to slow down in seasons and things like that. And so I have to really actively make sure that I am being smart with my time and not making excuses also. And there's some balance there. That's a balancing act that only you can figure out. But I wanted to kind of go through some things that I felt would be helpful to all of us in juggling our business with our lives. So the first tip is to set business hours. Y'all, if you've been in my team long enough, you've heard this. But setting business hours, treating your business like a business, is really key, because if you don't plan for your day or plan for your business, at the end of the day, your whole day is going to have gone past, and you're not going to have done what you wanted to do at the beginning of the week or the beginning of the month, or had reached those expectations or intentions. So setting business hours, what do I mean by that? Plan your day a day ahead of time. So that might mean you take, a lot of us don't have predictable schedules. I know for me, with my toddler and schedule, my day-to-days always look very different. And so the night before, I try to plan out what pockets of time the next day I will dedicate to my business. So that means, am I going to get up at 5 a.m. and work out? Or am I going to get up at 5 a.m. and work my business? Am I going to work in nap times? Are there car rides that I can be listening to personal development? Thinking through things like that. So setting those business hours ahead of time. That way, when the day comes, I can be proactive and be intentional with that time that I do have. So for example, and it looks different for everyone. For me, so for example, today, my day did not go I'm so sorry. As I had planned because of Aiden's sickness, but I did get up early with the intention of working. You know, the night before I thought, okay, tomorrow's going to be unpredictable. Where are my pockets of the day that I can work? And I knew I couldn't rely on any time that he was awake. And I also knew from a physical standpoint, he might be struggling. He got up every hour last night, so I knew that the chance of me needing to rest and recharge in the afternoon for my physical health was really important also. So I planned out my day. I got up early this morning, which inevitably didn't end up working out because Aiden got up early also. So, you know, you just roll with it. But my intention was to get up early to do my power hour to get those things under control. Now I'm playing catch up, and so I'll do that after I get off the team call because I spent the time prior to team call prepping and making sure I'm ready for you guys. So, but it was about planning the day. So going into today, I knew what my game plan was. The other piece of setting business hours is that this allows you to unplug from your phone. One thing that I hate to see from coaches is that they become a slave to their inbox. And that's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your family. It's not healthy for your relationships, particularly with a husband or a spouse. They will begin to resent your business, and that is a struggle. And so if you're not intentionally unplugging from your business when it's not your business hours, then you're going to have some imbalance in your life, and you're going to feel like if someone messages me, oh, I got to message them right back, when in reality, if they're your tribe, they're going to be patient, they're going to understand, and they're also going to wait for you to respond. You know, if somebody decides to go with another coach because you waited 15 minutes or a couple hours to respond back to them, they weren't your tribe in the first place. So it's important to realize that. So tip number 1 is set business hours and plan ahead for those business hours. Tip number 2 is stay organized. And here's how. So I'm going to give you action steps. I don't know if you have note and pen ready, but I'm going to give you things to create lists for. So stay organized. Create a daily, weekly, and monthly list to work from. And I'm going to give you what to put on these lists, okay? So an example of what could go on your daily list. Create a list of what groups that you need to look at each day. So for me, since I have so many moving pieces at this season of the journey, I did not in the beginning as a coach, I just had my one challenge group. But at this season of the journey, I have a lot of moving pieces with my groups, and I don't want one group to slip by my fingers. So on my list of groups to look at each day is my Restoration Nation Challenge group. I have my Fitness Feud group. Now I have Project Mom. And then any free groups. I have the team page. So having a list, it doesn't mean it's going to take super long to check in. But for me, and you can do with this however you want. For me, I prefer to save my check-ins with my groups till the end of the day. Because I am one that's bad about, I'm a notification checker. Like, I can't stand to see that I have a notification and not know what it is. And so I would be a slave to my phone if I was constantly responding to every comment when it comes in. And so for me, it's easier to sit down and spend 30 minutes commenting in every group than it is for me to try and comment throughout the day. So I have a list of what groups that I need to look at each day. I also have a checklist of my personal journey. Did I work out? Did I drink my shake? No, I did not work out today. It's not going to happen. Today will be an unscheduled rest day, but I did drink my shake. And then also create a list of your daily non-negotiables. So this piece is huge. So like that's just kind of a basic list. Like I need to check in with XYZ. Okay. Add on there what your social media. So make sure you go back and look at your posts and that there's no comments that you need to comment on. But this piece of the puzzle has more to do with active business building activities. Things that will make your business go forward. Create a list of your daily non-negotiables. This could include things like answering all messages. So I don't like to go to bed with any messages in my inbox. Now, I will preface that by saying I go through and I answer all my messages. But I do not respond to anyone that messages me back unless it's the team. You guys are different. I usually try to respond back and make sure that you know what you're doing, and have helped you guys. But if it's a client or someone asking a question about something, I typically will respond to all messages. If I have time to go back and forth, I will. If not, they can wait till tomorrow, and I'll respond to them again in the morning. So I respond to all messages, checking in with my groups. Power Hour activities should be on that list. Posting on social media, and personal development. So that's kind of my daily non-negotiable list. And so that way you have something to work from when you have those pockets of the day. You can say, okay, did I check my social media for comments? Okay, check, done. Did I respond to all messages? Okay, check. That's probably one of the easiest ones to make sure that you do. Did I check in with all my groups? Check. And then power activities. I have several resources for Power Hour. I'm not going to go over that tonight. You guys can reach out to me if you want help learning a Power Hour. Feel free also during this to drop questions below if you have a specific question about something, and I can answer that. I'm on my phone tonight because the live video was not very pretty when it uploaded to YouTube last time. So have your daily non-negotiable list. So that's examples of what kind of list to create for your daily activities. Now, what kind of list do you create for your weekly activities? Things that could be on this list. Listen to National Wake Up Call. Listen to the team call or be on the team call. Create content. So this could be creating posts for your group, creating posts for social media, things along that line, catching up on any missed Power Hour activities. I always leave this on there for the weekend. So like today, I'm not going to get it done as much as I want to get done today as I had originally planned. So if I don't end up making up for that this week on the weekend, I will set aside some extra time to catch up. And there's a huge reason why I do this. So a lot of coaches, if they miss a Power Hour, they're just like, oh, well, I missed it. Well, while in the moment that might not feel like a bad thing, it's just like, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow. When you do that, you will see that ripple effect a couple months down the road. So your seeds that you're planting right now, the invites that you're sending right now, the time that you're investing right now, will pay off in 3 months, in 6 months, and even farther down the road. So if you're going through a lull in your business, it's usually because 3 months ago or 6 months ago, your daily activities were not up to par. So catching up on the Power Hours and the invites and things like that you missed is crucial. So that's something that I have really struggled with pregnancy, but I've really been intentional about trying to make sure that this happens and catching up on my Power Hour activities, and it's proven to have paid off, and I don't say that pridefully, but it goes to show how many months of consistency will pay off. So like, for example, right now I'm at Success Club 14 or 16, and that's because of the seeds I invested 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 1 year and a half ago, that I'm able to reap in this season. But that doesn't mean that I can skip my Power Hours right now, because then if I do in 3 months, I'm really gonna pay for it, and it will be a lot harder for me to reach my goals. So catching up on Power Hours. So that's your weekly list. Listening to some things that can be on there. National Wake Up Call, team call, creating content, catching up on missed Power Hour activities. Now, how to plan your month. This is probably the hands down most crucial piece of advice that I can give to you. And I just had a one-on-one call with one of you, and we talked about this. And I have floundered in September because August was such a killer month for our team, and we had so much going on in August with Team Cup and Fitness Feud. Y'all, Fitness Feud took so much time out of me in prepping and preparing to make sure that we had everything we needed. And so I went into September without a plan. I did not have a plan for the month, and it has killed me this month. It has been a slow start to the month because I wasn't being intentional about anything that I was doing. I would sit down at the computer and know that I had stuff to do, but couldn't figure out what I was inviting to, and I was just kind of a little bit lost. So creating a monthly plan will really eliminate a lot of stress in your life. Now, depends on what season you are in your journey as a coach. If you're a baby coach, you're not going to be running a lot of groups. If you're a more seasoned coach, you can be more selective. I encourage you to partner with other coaches in our team to help decrease the burden of running groups by yourself. But plan your month. Take one day out of the month. I encourage you to do this mid-month. So mid-September, around now, you would take one day out of your weekend or out of your month or whatever and plan out October. And this is key because you're thinking ahead, you're creating a game plan 2 steps ahead of where you're at right now, and that makes you feel less stressed. So take one day with a dedicated chunk of time. So this is not going to be a power pocket activity. This is going to be you get up early on a Saturday morning and you crank this out for a couple hours before you continue and go have fun with your family. So it will require a little sacrifice, but it's an important step for your stress level. So when you create this monthly game plan, you're going to plan the following. You're going to plan a free group. You're going to plan a challenge group, and you're going to plan a coach sneak peek. Now, that coach sneak peek is already going to be planned for you when I get my act together. I'm being transparent with you guys. So that coach sneak peek, you're just going to be inviting to that, is really where that's at, because I'm not expecting you to run your own sneak peek. So we'll do that as a team. But those are the 3 things that I recommend you plan. Here is a sample guide of what that could look like. So week 1 of the month, you're inviting to a new or revamp of a challenge group. So for those that run on recurring groups, they struggle with this because they're like, well, I just have one that runs all the time. How do I invite to this? View it as if every single month you have a reset button on that group. So every single month you should have a dedicated time frame that you're working to add a new crop of people to. You're literally treating it like a brand new challenge group, but it's just the same group and you're continuing to grow that. That will also give your current challengers a chance to hit the reset button. If they're struggling in their own journey and they see a brand new crop of people come in and they know on the second week of the month you're going to do a new prep week, you're going to do all of that, then they can jump in and get reignited with you. So that helps with engagement. So week 1 of the month, you're inviting to a challenge group. Week 2 of the month, you're launching prep week in your challenge group, and you're continuing to invite to this challenge group. So then on week 3, your challenge group launches, and you can make it 21 days, you can make it 30 days, whatever. But on week 3, that's when your actual challenge launches. You had prep week on week 2, it launches on week 3. So now, what do you invite to? Your challenge group has started, so now what do you invite to, right? Week 3, you're going to invite to a sneak peek in a free group. So usually within that 3rd to 4th week of the month, that's when we'll do our coach sneak peek. So that week, you're going to be inviting to your sneak peek in your free group. And in week 4, you're going to be running your free group. Okay, so that means you've got your challenge group that starts, and you've got your sneak peek, then you've got your free group, and then the next month it just starts right on over, and it's a natural process from there. So I could spend all day talking about that, but having a plan for your month will help you feel so much less stressed. And this is something I did not do this month, and I can tell you I have been stressed. And that's my fault. I didn't run a free group this month. I didn't run a free group last month because of Fitness Feud. I've been a hot mess the past 2 months, but I can tell it in my business because I don't feel organized. I don't feel productive. And I'm kind of running around like a chicken with my head cut off and trying to keep my head above water. And that's not a good feeling. I don't have to feel that way. If I had just took a chunk of time and I have done this since, to figure out what I'm doing for the month ahead, then I wouldn't have those feelings. So I highly encourage you to do that. I also use this one day of the month as my dedicated chunk to plan out posts. So for me, I usually recreate most of my posts with my groups, or I schedule out posts for my groups, whatever, but I take one day to schedule everything in my challenge group, my free group, and the team page. I try to do some in there. You can even do some on your personal page, but schedule all your posts in that big day of planning. Okay, so the next thing, recognize, so put your big girl panties on, recognize when you are being a poor steward of your time, okay? I don't say that to be ugly, because as clearly you guys can tell, I'm very transparent in where I'm struggling as a coach, as a leader, as a person, and that's my desire for you guys to see that it's okay to struggle, that that's normal, that you don't have to be a superhero coach. But what's not okay is living in that realm of struggle, and then that when there is a better way. So recognizing when you're being a poor steward of your time. What do I mean by that? When you're scrolling Facebook, you're wasting time, people, okay? When you're scrolling Facebook, you're wasting time. I am guilty as the next person, and I will catch myself and realize, oh my gosh, I just spent 5 minutes scrolling Facebook, and I didn't, like, if you're going to scroll Facebook, make it intentional. Like and comment on everything you scroll past. But if you're scrolling Facebook, you're wasting time. Create lists to help avoid this. I'm a list person, if you can't tell. An invite list, a follow-up system, a friend funnel, however you need to do that. But scrolling Facebook is wasting time, period. It is okay to scroll Facebook after you've gotten your stuff done. So when you've gotten you've crushed your goals for the day, then scroll till you're blue in the face. But until then, you need to put your scrolling on lockdown. 2, do not respond to incoming messages, texts, phone calls, or anything else when you're working in your power pocket or in your power hour. You have to respect that business time. So when you're sending out your invites, and if somebody responds right away, you do not respond to that message until, if you have, your goal is 5 invites for the day, and you sent out 2, and somebody that you just invited responded back, you don't touch that message until you've sent your last 3 invites. Then you go back, and I actually recommend don't responding to messages until you've finished all your daily activities, but that's a personal preference. But do not respond to your incoming messages, texts, phone calls. You have to treat it like business. And that will keep you from squirrel syndrome. So I'm sure most of you have probably felt this, because this happens all the time. You're in the middle of working, you're crushing your power hour, you're inviting, you're connecting with people, and a message pops in and you see it and you're like, oh, I need to respond to that. I forgot to do this. Or, oh, she wants more information. Let me talk to her. And so you start going back and forth with this person, and inevitably 20 minutes passes, 30 minutes passes, and all the time that you had set aside for your power hour is now gone because you spent it with this one person that may or may not benefit you, if that makes sense. So don't respond to incoming messages. Have a system. Y'all know, if you've been with me long enough, you know this. I'm big on systems because it helps you with stress levels. Have a system, an organizational system and a power hour system. So this means a way for you to schedule, like have all these lists in one place, to have your power hour activities clearly listed. It could be Team Z. It could be, there's an Power Hour document. It's in a team page. I love that document if you're using pen and paper. But that way, when you sit down to work, you'll have a plan and get twice as much done. But if you don't have a system in place and you sit down to work and you don't even know what you're doing, then you're not going to get anything done, obviously. The next one is don't make excuses. So this was said in love, and I have had to do a lot of this with myself in my recent coach journey, because it's been really, really difficult for me to navigate pregnancy and understanding like when to listen to my body and when to rest and then when to buckle up and sit down and crush goals. You know, like there's a balance to be found, and I don't succeed with this every day, but I strive to lead by example, and there is balance to be had. But don't make excuses. There's grace, and then there's just refusing to do the monotonous, unsexy things that will get your business moving. Let's be real. Follow-ups, invites, sending friend requests, that's unsexy stuff. Like getting a message from a challenger that is kicking butt and taking names and lost 5 pounds, that's sexy. Like, that's fun to receive. But the unsexy stuff, like the daily to-dos, it's not necessarily fun. But you'll experience the fun side of things if you do it consistently. So be willing to recognize when you're making excuses and you're saying that that you're busy, but in reality you're just not being productive, if that makes sense. Because you could probably get twice the amount done in half the time if you were being productive and intentional. So just be willing to realize and not make excuses. If you're struggling, you may be doing the wrong personal development for you or not doing anything at all. A lot of times me personally, I struggle to prioritize personal development because, for a long time I didn't see the value in it. And now in this season of my life, I realized I have to fill my cup and I have to be fueling my business and my mind and my heart, in order to adequately lead and guide other people. And it's like in the Bible where they talk about putting on the armor of Christ. It's the same. You're putting on the armor of Beachbody with personal development, and you're going into your power hour with this personal development mindset that you've already determined that it's going to be a good day, that you've already determined that it's going to be you're going to change somebody's life today. And you go in with a positive mindset instead of skipping it and then checking your messages and you've got a coach cancellation form, or checking your messages and someone that swore they were going to purchase today didn't. And you're going in with the armor, guarding yourself to be happy in your coaching business, if that makes sense. So if you're struggling, you may be doing the wrong personal development for you. You might need something different, or you're not doing any at all. And the last one on this category, don't spend time on stupid stuff. Fancy graphics do not matter. Our team does not do a lot of this, but fancy graphics don't matter. You don't have to have a pretty picture to put on your page with a pretty collage and a bunch of pretty letters. And it doesn't matter. Like, if you're spending 10 minutes creating a pretty graphic, you could have spent 10 minutes sending invites. Like, which is a better use of your time? So training, and also this goes to the same thing as trainings. So you can listen to YouTube tutorials, national wake-up calls, till you're blue in the face, but until you take action from those calls and from those trainings and from the team calls, you're still wasting time because you need to apply what you're learning. So remember, every successful coach had no idea what they were doing when they started. When I began my coaching business, I had no freaking clue what I was doing. I was posting stupid stuff on social media. Y'all seen that. I was like salesperson to the extreme. I had no clue how to run a team. I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing, but I had to learn. So you have to just remember that everybody starts somewhere. So there may not be anything different between you and the next coach except for time. So when I start thinking about, a lot of times people get caught up in the comparison game with coaching, and they think, oh, well, so-and-so, she hits these Success Club numbers every month, and it's easier for her, and some people must like her, and da-da-da-da. In reality, there's nothing different between me and Ashley Smith, who is super successful in the network, except for time. She's been in the business 3 times longer than I have, and she started in the same place that I did. And I know that I'm doing the same activities that she's doing. So the only thing separating us is time. If I continue to be consistent, continue to share with my heart, continue to hustle with heart, it will all fall into place. So, soapbox rant. Only a couple more things, we're done. Make sure to comment questions if you have them. I know a couple people are still on here. The last 3 things, set goals. So going into the month with a goal. These don't have to be crazy. These don't have to be like, I want to be a diamond by 3 weeks from now. It could just be, I want to do my power hour 6 out of 7 days of the month. Or it could be, I want to hit Success Club. Or it could be, whatever activities that you need to be doing to be stretched, to keep you from being complacent. And so setting a goal and writing them down and putting them someplace where you can see them will remind you what you're working towards, instead of this kind of lost, meandering feeling that can happen when you haven't set goals for yourself. So I know every single month my goal, my non-negotiable goal, is Success Club 20. My dream goal every month is Success Club 40. But I know that I have to, for my personal goals and my family's finances, I have to hit Success Club 20 every month. I know that I want to sign 3 new coaches every month. I know that I have these things, these goals in place. That way I still, even in the midst of my struggle bus the last 6 weeks, I still have a plan in place. I still know what I'm working towards each month. So set goals. I have an entire team call on how to set goals if you want to listen to that. I think it's in the files page of the team page. Files of the team page. Okay, plaster your why everywhere. In this business, it's easy to get distracted by all of the moving pieces and to see 100 notifications pop in each day, and your inbox might be fuller than you're used to, or whatever it may be. And it's easy to lose sight of what you're working towards. So I encourage you to take, and this is going to change constantly in your business. So when I first started coaching, my why was so clear. For me, it was come home. I wanted to be home with my baby. I wanted to not miss another day, and that was my driving force for 8 months. And it was all I could think about. I lived, ate, breathed that dream. And when I accomplished it and I came home, I felt really lost, honestly, because I didn't take the time to set a new why, a new goal. Okay, great, I'm home, now what? Now what am I doing? And so my new why became a certain dollar figure every month. It became a what do I want from my family as far as extracurricular activities? What do I want to be able to help provide for my family? What do I want to, and I had to write down those things. And then now, my long-term goal would be to bring my husband home full-time. That's a very long-term, off in the future goal, but it is on my whys. And so right now, my goals are my why is a little bit different. My why right now is to be healthy, to be present. I don't want to be resentful of any season of my life. I want to be able to be in the moment with my pregnancy and with having a newborn. And so that why has changed a little bit for this season of my life. And then come January, it'll change again when I want to go hardcore in my business and my fitness and all of that, when I can kind of revamp everything. And so your why is going to be ever changing, but it's important to write it down and plaster it everywhere. Make it the background on your phone. Put it where you work. Put it at your desk at work. Put it in your bedroom. Put it on your mirror in your bathroom. Whatever you need to do to remember why you're doing this. Because if you don't have a strong why, you're not going to want to stick around. You're not going to want to do this. Is it important to you to pay for your Shakeology every month? Is it important to you to help provide financial peace for your family? You have to be descriptive about it and write it down and plaster it everywhere. So remembering your why is important. And then the last thing, being overwhelmed is a choice. And I don't say that to be ugly, because I have felt this a lot the last 6 weeks. But we're going to have seasons of our business where we feel overwhelmed. And that's okay. That's normal. They're going to be, in August, there was a lot of us who felt super overwhelmed by Teen Cup. We were pushing really hard. We were working hard towards our goals. And it's easy to get overwhelmed by that, and that's normal, but living in that overwhelmed space is what is a choice, okay? So we have control of our mindset and our reaction to our situations, and by being organized and intentional with your time, you're going to actively decrease this feeling. So if you apply everything that I just said in the last, I've been talking a long time, in the call, you're going to feel less overwhelmed and stressed because you're going into your business organized and intentional and with a plan. And that will help you feel less overwhelmed. It will help you feel less like a chicken with their head cut off. And it will help you going forward in your business to not sacrifice your goals for your stress levels. Because while coaching is not meant to be stressful, life is stressful, y'all. Like, you know, your 9-to-5 job isn't peachy keen every day. And so you shouldn't expect for coaching to be rainbows and sunshine every day either. But going in with a plan, organized, intentional, that will help you feel less overwhelmed. And that's my goal. I was speaking with one of you privately, and it's my goal to help you guys to create a plan for your business so that you don't have those feelings. So I think that's all I've got for tonight. Hopefully that was productive and helpful and a good starting point for you to maybe have a little direction going into October. I encourage you to go ahead and start applying all of these things so that you can go into October feeling confident in your business, because there's no reason that you can't reach your goals. There's just consistency, time, and being intentional and productive. Those are my 2 favorite words, apparently, with your time. So, unless anybody has any questions, I'll hang out for just a second. Have any questions? I know we have a couple people on. Okay. If not, you can leave them in the comments and I'll get back to them. All right, guys, that's all I've got. I hope you have a wonderful Monday evening. Thanks for tuning in, like I'm a broadcaster or something. And we will see you next Monday. I believe next Monday we'll have a guest speaker, so we'll be doing it live. Team call 8 o'clock next Monday evening. So we'll see you guys then. Bye.